Held on, isn't it? So,
well, one complaint, too big and warm.
well, I'm standing here.
Oh, you didn't factor 50 at then?
Come on over, Sean. We need people here.
In this Ashes season, it falls to me to open the batting, so to speak. Perhaps I should say play the first chucker, as we're in polo country. Before handing over to the real stars of the show, Matt and his best man Simon, for their speeches, which I'm sure will be far more entertaining than mine. No pressure. See, I try to deflect things away from me. But I'd like to begin by saying a huge thank you to all of you for being here. On behalf of myself, my wife Janet, Matt's parents, Morag and Paul, and of course Lisa and Matt. It really does mean a lot to all of us. Particularly as I know that many of you have travelled quite some way to be here, and in some cases a very long way indeed. But there aren't many opportunities in life to gather so many close friends and family together for such a happy occasion. So wherever you travel from, near or far, we really are delighted to see you all here today. Now I'm sure you'll agree with me that it's a stunning venue, and particularly the gardens, which have been made even more beautiful today by the gorgeous weather that we've enjoyed. As I was saying to some of you earlier, I can't believe that after a week of following the weather forecast and fretting over the weather, that we've been standing outside saying this is a bit too hot. So it's been a very pleasant surprise. But talking of beautiful things, I have to say that our bride today looks absolutely lovely. I think you can safely say they're the prettiest bride and bridesmaid we've seen all day. Now, what else can I tell you about Lisa? Well, I do, which eventually be worried about. I do vividly recall the day that Lisa was born, which is not bad going, given that was 10,103 days ago. So she's not wearing too bad. But no, I do have very fond memories of that time. Not just for the obvious reasons, but because I had a full head of hair and a beard in those days. Well, fuller head of hair, but so you can see what raising a daughter does to you, or what raising Lisa does to you. But since the day she was born, Lisa has brought great joy and happiness into our lives, and we have been, and always will be, very proud. To us, she's been the perfect daughter, and at least we go without saying that we love you very, very much. Now, as she was growing up, Lisa, like many young girls, I suspect, tried her hand at various things. She tried playing the violin, with the emphasis being on tried. She did gymnastics for a while, but sadly she had to retire due to injury, which was probably a blessing in disguise, as I don't think Beth Tweddle would have had too much to worry about. But she was a brownie, a girl guide and a guide leader, and she did enjoy her horse riding for several years. I think netball and ballet were also other fleeting strings to her bow. Hard to believe that sitting here today that we used to call her twinkle toes. Not really. But despite these varied interests, I think it would be true to say that Lisa wasn't really renowned for her outdoor activities. Not really. Wasn't really the outdoor type. So when she met Matt and started clearing copses with a machete, trekking the South Down Way in the snow, and swimming in lakes, well, we knew that it had to be love. So turning now to the object of her affections. Well, we'll be hearing more about Matt in a short while, when Simon gives his best man speech. So fingers crossed there aren't any startling revelations. So I think after today we're past the point of no return, I think. But in the meantime, let me say a few words about our new son-in-law. Long before Janet and I actually met Matt in person, we were sitting at home one day with Lisa, and she was telling us all about it. And she summed him up perfectly even then. She said, and I quote, Matt's a rock. And, excuse me, and I couldn't agree more. I can honestly say that Matt is one of the nicest, most considerate, helpful and genuine people that you could ever wish to meet. And since the day we did actually get to meet him in person, do you remember that? The day you went to the day you entered the circle of trust. Well, since that day, we've been keeping our fingers crossed that he will be the one, and thankfully, so it turned out. I think as a parent, we all obviously want the best for our children, and in the case of a daughter, I think perhaps your greatest wish is that one day she'll find a caring, kind, and loving husband. And I'm delighted to say that you've come up Trump's step. Matt, we're extremely proud to have you as our son-in-law. I'd like to formally welcome you to our family, even though you've been unofficially part of it for many years now. You certainly drunk up my red wine. I would also add that it's been a real pleasure getting to know Maureen and Paul over the last year or two. And I'd like to thank them for all their support and generosity in making today possible. Although I think the real congratulations should go to Lisa and Matt for their military style planning of the event. Spreadsheets, but so far they've managed to deliver, I think, in style, including the weather, so it's a real bonus. Now they say that the father of the bride should offer a few words of advice or wisdom to the newly married couple, but I certainly wouldn't be so bold or as presumptuous as to try and tell these two what to do. Scared Lisa. But what I would say is this. Janet and I have now been married for 33 years. I was waiting for the gasp there. I just thought you wouldn't believe it. We don't quite look old enough, do we? But it's true, we've been married for 33 years. And during that time we've been extremely happy and also very fortunate to have two wonderful children, Lisa and Paul. Not only is Janet my wife, she's also my best friend, and I sense that this is also the case with Lisa and Matt. In fact, I'm sure of it. So, whilst I certainly wouldn't suggest that they use us two as role models, heaven forbid, I do hope that you'll both be as happy as we've been over the years. Now, when I was reading my Father of the Bride book, the Idiot's Guide version, it said that you should try and incorporate a poem or something similar into the speech. I don't know why you're laughing, June. That's what it said? Try and put a poem in? So to finish, I've chosen just a couple of verses from a poem that I found. And apologies to any of you who may have heard it before, but I thought it was quite apt. It's called On Your Wedding Day by a chap called a Non. Now I'm glad you're all laughing here because I had to explain to Janet that was a joke. When she started saying to me, you really don't think that was written by someone called a Non. So you can see she has utmost confidence in me. But anyway, so the poem, On Your Wedding Day. Today is a day you will always remember, the greatest in anyone's life. You started the day as just two people in love, and ended it as husband and wife. In luck, all your hopes and dreams can be real. May success find its way to your hearts. Tomorrow can bring the greatest of joys, but today,